I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro Max for a full week, testing out its cameras, its battery life, and doing all my usual creator tasks, browsing social media, editing short-form video, and a ton more. And while coming from an iPhone 16 Pro Max, there aren't huge differences. The improvements you do get with the 48 megapixel telephoto camera, the vapor chamber cooling, and that bigger battery is definitely noticeable, especially when you're out really putting it to the test. So I'm going to focus on three things: its new industrial design, the camera and battery life, and finally help you decide, is it time to upgrade from a 16, 15, or maybe you have an earlier iPhone. This is my iPhone 17 Pro Max review. First, let's talk about its new industrial design. When I first saw it announced at the Apple event and lots of hands-on videos, I was kind of torn. One, I didn't know what color to get because I wasn't crazy about the orange or deep blue, and I typically like going with a color, but I went with silver and I'm glad I did. That huge camera plateau and the new industrial design with the two-tone back, having the white glass area so MagSafe accessories work, but the all one-piece unibody aluminum design, I do have to say, it really takes holding it and spending some time with it to start appreciating it. I think it's safe to say the iPhone Air is a nicer design, but the industrial look on the 17 Pro and Pro Max actually started to grow on me. The Pro model iPhones, I've always tried to ride the line between a pretty design, where there was the stainless steel and then titanium materials, and while it did look nice, it always felt like it really could have gone further if it was truly geared towards Pro users. And I think the introduction of the iPhone Air this year allows the Pro series phones to go even farther into that. And while it's definitely a more utilitarian design than past years, even the 16 Pro, I do think it's beautiful in its own way. That camera plateau is definitely big, but I have seen people on social media start decorating that with stickers and other drawings. I find the rounded edges are actually nicer to hold, especially without a case. And if you already came from a Pro Max phone before, it's not going to feel a lot heavier. And after a few days of experiencing the battery life on the Pro Max, I don't think you're going to mind carrying around that weight either. And I will say that unibody design is supposed to make it more durable, along with Ceramic Shield 2, which Apple announced during the event, that should help the screen and the glass back be less prone to scratches. Now, we have had a little bit of scratch gate, especially on the orange and deep blue colors of the iPhone, but I actually dropped my iPhone 17 Pro Max the other day. Well, it fell out of my pocket while I was sitting on my patio. I picked up that screen and could not find any hairline scratches. I have to say, my iPhone 16 Pro Max had several scratches from a couple spills, but it felt like it scratched a little too easily. I think the Ceramic Shield 2, along with the unibody design, is going to make the 17 Pro and Pro Max way more durable, and if you want to go without a case, I would still go with AppleCare, but I don't think you have to worry about shattering your screen or getting as many hairline scratches. Also, when I'm not using with a case, it does feel less like I'm going to drop it, whereas the 16 Pro Max and earlier just didn't feel safe in my hands, especially when I was taking pictures, which we're going to get to the camera in a moment, because the action mode stabilization, that 4x and 8x zoom with the new 48 megapixel telephoto sensor is incredible. But before we get to that camera review, wanted to tell you about this video sponsor, Moft. Moft sent me their Snap Studio, which is the most versatile, modular, and beautifully minimalist accessories. Inside is actually my new favorite Apple Watch band, their Movas leather cases, Snapfield wallet, strap, and tripod wallet. They sent me multiple colors of their case. This is the clay, and all of them have a great feel. Camera control button here. Cases are also super durable. You can go with the taupe color, which accents the silver nice, or if you want some color, Moft has that too. My personal favorite, and the one I've been using during this entire review, is the Misty Cove case. Looks great in the silver. And all their cases are compatible with the Moft strap. Clip it on, and you have a super secure fit. You can wear it across your body, and super easy to take on and off. And one of my favorite accessories in the Snap Studio is the new Apple Watch band. It's actually reversible, so you get two colors in one. You can mix and match if you'd like, and it just snaps on with magnets. Also, they have the brand new Snapfield wallet, which can hold up to 8 cards, even change. Easy access to all your cards, and it will MagSafe to the back of your phone. Not only that, but it also has a built-in kickstand, so you can use it in portrait or throw it in landscape orientation to watch something. Comes in both stand and non-stand versions. And an accessory I've used for the last year, the tripod wallet. Not only is it also MagSafe, so it holds the back of your phone, you can put cards right here, but it also turns into a tripod. It's perfect if you want to film some selfie content, even holds your phone at that steep of an angle, or attach it in landscape to watch something. Moft always kills it on the iPhone accessories, and for the iPhone 17, it's no different. Get the Snap Studio and all the Moft accessories at the link in the video description. Thanks to Moft for sponsoring this video. All right, now let's talk about the camera. The big improvement on the 17 Pro versus the 16 is that telephoto camera. Previously, you had a 5x 12 megapixel telephoto. Well, this year you have a 48 megapixel 4x and cropped sensor to a 12 megapixel 8x zoom. And it is incredible. Here's a couple examples of while I'm screen recording, going through the different lenses, and it is impressive. Not just how far it can zoom, but how clear the pictures actually are. And that goes for videos too. Using that 4x lens to capture video is awesome. Compared to the 5x of the 16 Pro Max, you could really tell that 48 megapixel sensor, while it's still just 4K video, looks remarkably better. And if you really want to zoom all the way to 8x, you can get usable in photos that way too. Now, if you want two great reviews on the iPhone 17 Pro cameras, one, check out Tyler Stallman's video. He's an actual photographer. He did incredible in-depth coverage. And also the team at Lux Camera, who makes the camera app Halide on the iPhone, they did a review and got some astonishing images as well. And one of the things Tyler shows in his short form videos and on YouTube is action mode. Here's a before and after of what action mode can do. I was recording on the telephoto lens 4x zoom in action mode. You get about 2.8K resolution. And it is incredible how much it can actually stabilize that footage, and you actually get a usable shot. So not only do you get amazing video and photos, you get the action mode stabilization, but that 48 megapixel ultra wide is going to get you great landscape shots, but it also doubles as macro photography. If you've never played around with it, or you've not been on a pro phone, macro photography is definitely something to try. You can really get some cool images out of that. I also did some side-by-side comparisons with the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the iPhone Air. I know it's not really a fair comparison, but the 1x cameras, meaning the main lens, which is basically the same camera on both, it looks great on both, but if you ever use that telephoto lens, you're gonna feel that loss using the iPhone Air. Now, a little trick I showed in my iPhone Air video with a quick correction. If you use iCloud Photos and you have a Mac, you can actually create a smart album and filter by lens. I'll put the information on screen, and you can see all the photos you've taken on the 15 and 16 Pro Max and whether or not you would miss that telephoto and ultra-wide lenses. All right, and finally, number 3, let's talk about battery life. Now, coming from the iPhone Air, your mileage is going to vary widely. For me, I really struggled to get through a day on the iPhone Air, and that is not the case with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Obviously, it's a bigger phone, thicker phone, you're going to have the bigger battery, but Apple actually put a larger battery in the 17 Pro and Pro Max compared to the 16 Pro and Pro Max. And there's also that new vapor cooling chamber in the 17 Pro models, and I find that actually helps some of the charging speeds. I'm gonna be doing a video on my favorite MagSafe battery packs very soon, so get subscribed. But one of the biggest issues with wireless charging is heat, and I find with some of the Qi 2 25-watt battery packs and the iPhone 17 specifically, I got much faster charging speeds, and I think some of it has to do with that vapor cooling chamber. I'm gonna be testing my previous favorite MagSafe battery pack, which is the Anker 10K Ultra Slim, with some of the newer Qi 2 25-watt battery packs, and I think I have a new favorite, but get subscribed, that video's coming soon. Also, if you're wondering whether you should go iPhone Air or 17 Pro or Pro Max, think about how you use your phone. Using the iPhone Air as a content creator, it was clear it wasn't for me. I do a lot of editing on my phone. I use the Edits app from Instagram to actually add animated captions. I'm taking lots of ProRAW photos, which you can't do ProRAW on the iPhone Air. Sometimes I use it for thumbnail or just for posting on social media. Plus, I'm doing a lot of scrolling and answering comments and emails all from my phone. So I usually have about 4 to 5 screen-on hours every day. With the iPhone Air, I was struggling to get through the day, but with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I think I only hit low power mode that first day when it was still downloading apps and doing a bunch of mail downloads in the background. But after a week, it's clear the 17 Pro Max battery is better than all the previous years before it. And if you're a pro user or you're on your phone a lot, maybe you go to a lot of conferences and travel, Pro and Pro Max batteries are the way to go. I'll often film my phone on camera as well, like if I'm building shortcuts, which I do a lot on this channel, and my screen is on for maybe an hour or 2 hours while I'm filming. With the iPhone Air, if I ever did that, I had to be sure to charge midday. There was no question. But with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I've made videos, filmed the screen for an hour, and I can still get through the day without having to charge or put on a MagSafe battery. So yeah, if battery is one of your priorities, clearly the Pro and Pro Max is a great option. Now, I haven't tested the iPhone 17. If you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. I'll get one to review. But if, like me, you are trying to decide between the iPhone Air and the 17 Pro Max, I talked about this in my iPhone Air review, camera, battery life, and speakers, which the speakers are great on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. They sound great. They're also good on the 17. iPhone Air has that mono speaker. So if you listen to a lot of music or podcast out of your phone speaker, just keep that in mind. iPhone Air is going to be lower volume and just not sound as good. If you use AirPods, it's not a big deal. But battery life and camera, and do that smart album trick in the Photos app on your Mac. This way you know how many photos and videos you actually take with that telephoto and ultra-wide lenses. But should you upgrade if you have a 16 Pro or Pro Max or about a 15? I would say if you're on a 14 or earlier, this is an excellent year to upgrade. You're going to get huge camera upgrades from a 14 Pro and Pro Max. Battery life is going to be way better. You have that vapor cooling chamber. The 17 Pro and Pro Max is going to last you for years to come. If you're on a 15 Pro, you already have Apple Intelligence and all the software features. So it's really about, is the camera a huge part of why you use your phone? If you use that telephoto lens a lot, maybe you have kids, you go to sports games and you want to do videos and photos from far away, The 17 Pro and Pro Max is going to be a big upgrade even from the 15 Pro. And if you have a 16 Pro or Pro Max, that's going to be a harder sell. There's no upgrades to the software. You have Apple Intelligence on both. And the biggest difference, again, from 16 Pro to 17 is still that telephoto camera. So do that smart album trick, see if that's a big deal. Or if you just want an industrial design, you want better, longer battery life, or maybe you do a lot of gaming on your phone or heavy processor intensive tasks, and you found your 16 Pro getting warm a lot, which also would be killing your battery, 17 Pro and Pro Max might be right for you. For me, I'm glad I went with the silver. The industrial design is growing on me. But get subscribed and hit that like button. I'll put my iPhone Air review up here and my AirPods Pro 3 review right up here. And yes, in case you were wondering, all of the A-roll for this video, me talking to you right now, it was filmed on the 17 Pro Max.